I've got a new book out, more on that later. Today we're going to talk about mental anchors and how they can help your writing. A mental anchor is a memory, piece of inspiration, or some kind of reference material that you use to solidify an idea in your mind. They're mental shortcuts that help you remember the core of an idea, without having to do all of the creative legwork all over again. Think of them like artistic fast travel points. But more than being simply reference, they can help us to add detail to characters, locations, or styles with a fraction of the effort. A sort of pre-generated asset that we can drop into our own worlds, getting us to where we want to be faster and giving us more time to dive deeper on the things we really care about. In a fantasy novel I'm working on, I needed a knight with a troubled past, one from a prominent family who'd maybe done some things they weren't proud of and is looking to redeem themselves. I was having trouble developing a strong mental image of this person, what they looked like, the kind of clothes they wore, their mannerisms and speech. So I stole them from this guy. Now, my character isn't an XP. For those unfamiliar with the trope, an XP is when you steal the entire character, lifting them from one place and depositing them in another whole cloth. I didn't want to do that for a whole bunch of reasons, but by taking inspiration from an existing character and then molding them to my uses, I get a whole lot in return for very little work. I didn't need this character's backstory, I didn't need his relationship to his family, or the specific trauma he went through. What I needed was his face. His expressions, his style of clothing, and the cadence of his speech. So I extract the things I need and discard the rest. Now, whenever I'm struggling to picture my character, whenever I'm asking myself the kind of facial expression they would give, or the kinds of clothes they wear, I can use our one-handed friend as an anchor point, a sort of inspirational fast travel to the core idea. From there, I can expand out, twist things, mold them to my specific uses. It allows me to jump to the creative place that is most productive, rather than starting from zero and having to work my way down those chains of inspiration each time I think about the character. To give another example from the same book, I have this character who's kind of a con man. He got wrapped up in the wrong group of guys and was sentenced to prison for selling dangerously defective weapons to the military. About 2/3 of the way into the book, this character bumps into his old business partner, the guy who supplied him with the bad equipment and ultimately caused him to go to jail. I had a firm grasp of my character, after all I'd spent a couple of drafts with them, but this business partner was new to that draft. I didn't really have a firm grip on what their personality would be or what they looked like. I hadn't thought about them before. But I also couldn't continue the chapter without him. I needed character inspiration, and I needed it quick. And then I remembered this guy.
I've often speculated on why you don't return to America. Did you abscond with the church fund? Did you run off with the senator's wife? I like to think that you killed a man. It's the romantic in me.
This is Claude Rains playing Captain Renault in Casablanca. Fantastic character. In the movie, he plays the skeezy captain of the local police force. I'm not trying to steal this character outright. What I want is to take a few points of inspiration from this character, to use him to inform my own ideas. Stealing this character to make another police chief would be too close for my taste. But stealing a police chief to make a sleazy merchant? Now we're getting somewhere. By using this character as an anchor point, I know roughly what the guy looks like. I don't have to waste time trying to remember if his eyes are beady or the kind of fashion he prefers. I get all of that for free. Furthermore, when I come back to this character in later chapters or later drafts, instead of spending several minutes trying to remember all of the little details, I can simply look at an image or a short clip. This reference point, this mental anchor, acts as a spark, igniting the old flames of inspiration in the same way that stirring coals can save a fire. Instead of spending several minutes looking over old notes and trying to remember what I was doing with the character, I can look at a picture of this guy and trigger those memories in a fraction of a second. Think of these mental anchors not as things to steal, but a process similar to zeroing a rifle, to bringing something back to center. A compass to return you to the point of inspiration. This is one of the things we're talking about when we mention stealing like an artist. It's not about just grabbing something and palette swapping them or filing off the serial numbers. By taking inspiration from existing sources, we not only save ourselves a lot of work, we have a shortcut back to our original inspiration. The internet is very fond of character generators and checklists that ask you about your character's favorite food or when their birthday is. But how much of that actually helps us? What does that tell us about a character? By pulling up an image or a film clip or an idea of a character, I can get a ton of inspiration in a fraction of the time. This allows me to skip to the interesting part, to thinking about how my character is different from that inspiration, how the character is unique, rather than simply stealing them or wasting time trying to invent something whole cloth. And you don't have to steal the entire character. You can just use one piece of them, be it an outfit, a haircut, or a signature weapon to help inspire your own choices. Once you have those anchor points, you can return to them again and again just by looking at the image, just by revisiting those notes. It's not just people either. Architectural styles, locations, even the mood elicited by a piece of music can all act as these mental anchors. When writing on a given project, I generally listen to a soundtrack or piece of music over and over again while working on it. Listening to that soundtrack, that song, that whatever, helps to lower me back into the mood I want for that story. It gets me to the place I need to be mentally in order to convey that mood to the audience. So don't be afraid to build reference boards to keep images of actors alongside your notes about a character. At the end of the day, your method, your process, is all about doing what helps you to be creative. So go steal some stuff, use those shortcuts, and then use them to make something truly unique. I'm Michael Aguero. Thanks for watching. I have a new book out called Trial of Atlas. You can support the channel by picking up a copy on Amazon Kindle or Google Play. And while you're there, check out some of my other stories. There's a little something for everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.